Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing today? Jason Galvin, how are you? Let's get this
What up, J-Lo?
Thing off of here. Hi.
That's dumb. Spent $100 on that. It looks great.
What?
The banner. You just called dumb.
Oh,
Very
sorry.
sad.
That's
Don't do that.
Listen,
Listen.
Again, I've got
Listen.
a lot of things.
I spent like one half of my daily salary to national event on that. Okay, so.
And we know how precious that is.
Just saying.
By the way, dude,
What up?
I know you love these things, but bro.
Oh, bro, you got a PS5. I didn't even grab one. So, like, normally that's my thing, right? But I've already slammed a large latte today,
Nice.
and I have a baseball broadcast tonight.
Oh,
Shameless plug, 6 o'clock Pacific time, ESPN Plus for those of you subscribers. Got nothing better to do. You can tune in for a riveting NCAA Division I matchup between the Bulldogs of Fresno State University and the Roadrunners of Cal State Bakersfield, who are on a 2-game winning streak in the Big West. Kind of a big deal, kind of a big game. So there's my shameless baseball plug. But anyways, yeah. So I'm not slamming my Celsius right now because Home Slice is gonna consume quite a bit of caffeine tonight.
So if I have ESPN Plus, can I watch it on the East Coast?
100%. Yeah, you can watch it anywhere in the world as long as you have ESPN Plus. Live on demand. You can go back. It's great. You can go look at my walk-off call from Saturday. Bakersfield beating Long Beach State on a walk-off was awesome. Double down the right field line in extra innings. It was great. It's great. Should have been there.
So you do call a bunch of different sports. Which one's your favorite other than drag racing?
I love baseball.
Baseball is good.
So the thing about calling baseball, right, is I don't have a color commentator for baseball. It's the one sport ESPN doesn't. The one sport ESPN doesn't give me an analyst for. And I grew up, obviously, Dodger fan, LA, right, repping which side, Jackie Robinson Day coming up, right? And for those of you who don't know, the reason my race car, my super comp number is 742, Division 7, the 42 Jackie Robinson. Anyway, so diehard Dodger fan. Vin Scully is literally right there. See that? That's Vin. Those are Vins, right? So anyways, I grew up listening to him, and I love that ability to tell a story. And baseball is the one sport that lets you tell stories, and it builds up. In many ways, to me, it has a lot of parallels to drag racing because there's a lot of downtime and a lot of innocuous stuff, so to speak, right? And then boom, you get your moment. And I love that about baseball. Is that it kind of like drag racing, you don't know when that moment's going to come. You don't know when somebody's going to, Terry Haddock finally ripped up his first 3-second run, right? Mike Salinas running 300 to the 8th. You don't know when that's going to happen. You don't know when somebody's going to hit a home run. Or a couple of weeks ago, we had a play. I was on the call for a play that ended up being a Sports Center top 5 play, which was incredible in right field. One of the greatest catches I've ever seen in a baseball game. And you don't know when that's going to happen. So, so that's what I love. That's what I love about calling baseball.
I loved just going to minor league baseball games when, we had the Grapefruit League. We still do, but there's 4 teams in it, right? But we would just sit out there in the bleachers, out right field, wherever, and we would just commentate the game. We were just there. Hey, that home run, that double play brought to you by so and so Frankfurters.
Okay, so can I tell you something here?
Yeah,
my wife. For some reason, my wife wasn't following you on Instagram.
Okay, great.
And for it, and she finally started following you this weekend. Mostly because I wanted her to see your videos of you and AJ and Joey on tour. For those who don't know, Jason's been a big celebrity here of late. He's been on tour with NSYNC.
Oh, I got video of that together. Here, Jason.
I had a feeling you did. So anyway, real quick before you show that video, I'll just tell you, okay? My wife started following you, and she goes, Cameo? I could pay for a cameo of Jason Logan? And I was like, yeah. She's like, people actually pay for cameo videos of Jason Logan? I'm like, yeah, because they love his Harry Carey. Harry Carey's the greatest thing in the world.
Right, hold on. Wait, let me see if I can find him. Hold on, please. Hold on. Hey. Hi, Jason Galvin. I know what you're talking about by liking baseball because I love it. just as much as I love the Peach Vibe Celsius. I can knock back a couple of Frankfurters and about 3 or 4 of these, and I'll be high as a kite. Not that there's alcohol or anything in them, but in the caffeine. Jason, holy cow, Sean Dunston with a 2 the Wrigley faithful. Raise the W. Raise the W.
Sean Dunston, of all people. Like,
Wow.
Throwback to 1996 Cubs fan. Sean Dunston.
You got to throw in a Hawk, Andre Dawson, Mark Grace. You got
like it's not like Hall of Famers, like Sean Dunston.
Right, dude. You got to throw them all in.
Like a Padres fan dropping Benito Santiago.
Right. Thank you, Nicole, for enjoying that. But yeah, so yeah, if you haven't seen anything I've been doing on this past weekend, by the way, I know we're gonna get into Pomona and all that stuff, but dude, I lived a little rock star life. This is me backstage. Okay, that's enough of that. So, anyways, Jason always gives me a hard time trying to make my microphone louder. A hard time about name dropping Joey Fatone, but him and AJ from Backstreet Boys are going on. They're on this tour. They did book 9 dates, and then all of a sudden, because the success of the sales of all the 9 dates they had, they booked like 20 more during the summer. So they were going. Joey's manager was like, "Hey, you want to open for these things, MC for him?" I'm like, come out and have fun. I go, yeah, I'll do it, of course. Well, he was going to take me out west, which would have meant I would have missed Pomona. But he goes, oh, flights are crazy. I'll just use you for the Florida dates. I'm like, okay, I'll do Florida dates. So I did 3 dates: Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, and Jacksonville. Now, if you're not a Backstreet Boy fan or you're not an NSYNC fan,
why not?
You're not going to understand what went on. But in Orlando, where all these boy bands were created, Backstreet.
I didn't even think about that. I never even put that together.
Yeah. So that show sold out immediately. It was at the Hard Rock. And when I say sold out, we're not talking 50,000 people. We're talking, small venues. But it was like 3,500 people at this venue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they sold out immediately, and they had standing room only on the sides. And I'm just talking Orlando. People were sending me pictures. Hey, we're going to go see your boyfriend Joey in Orlando. Cool, you'll see me there because I'm opening for him. Oh my God, you're opening for him! So in Orlando, I actually had fans screaming for me during my 45-minute set at the beginning. Cool. So it was awesome. But I do 45 minutes, and then I do. I play a song where I don't know if you saw that big stupid dice that was there. They throw that in the audience and they hold it up, and then they've got a board with different songs like It's Gotta Be Me. It's stuff they already plan on singing. So that's a big crowd pleaser. And then they do a dance break to give the band a second to breathe, and I just get out there and I just play whatever. So after that, after the dance break, they call it their 7th inning stretch. They go into all their bangers. That Space Cowboy. They go into I Want It That Way. They play all their hits or all the big NSYNC and Backstreet Boy hits. I went out in the audience to see this Space Cowboy thing, and when they started doing their stupid little dance move, I've never heard people scream. Like drag racing's loud, Jason, but when I tell you this was on another level of loud, it was it was piercing. I was like, I'm going backstage. Forget this. This is too loud. And anytime they did a dance move or anything like that, the place erupted. I was like, oh my God. Okay,
so here's the real question.
Yeah.
When are you going to get those 2 guys out to a drag race?
Well, if it fits in their schedule, right? We could probably do it. Listen, we got What No Way guy. We could get Joey out there. Joe. Have you
ever asked Joey to come?
No, because I figured his answer would be, nah, I'm good.
Like, he doesn't need to come and be Joey Fatone. Like, we don't have to put him on social media. Like, Nikki Sheeler's going to see us and be like, Galvin, shut up. Allie's texting me right now, like, fire Galvin. Okay, but like, put him in a suite. Just let him enjoy it. Like, what if What if somebody like that becomes a fan? Like those are the type of people we need, right? Like we need those.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I'm Strowman. I like race cars. I got a drag racing car, and then he comes to an NHRA race, and he's like, "Never mind, this is incredible." I'm like, all of a sudden, we're all over WWE's social media. Like that's the type of stuff we need, right?
Well,
so,
and
like,
I'm gonna
come watch, okay?
Yeah,
bring it.
throw this.
Okay,
I'll throw this name out there. Joey is friends with Alfonso Ribeiro, and Alfonso, we all went on a bus trip together. We spent a week together, and he lives in LA, and he loves racing. So I've tried to get him out there, but
he's in the Toyota Celebrity Race. Yeah,
I know.
I've literally like interviewed him at the Toyota Celebrity Race in Long Beach.
Yeah, nice guy, really nice guy.
He's a nice guy. So why can't we get him out there?
I know. I work. I try to make things happen, but
yeah.
Celebrities. Celebrity Alvin. So
all right, let's talk about the not yet finished Winter Nationals.
By the way, I'm still so we're basically round one. We only have 3 rounds in Phoenix, right?
Correct. Are you trying to figure out to figure out the Phoenix schedule still?
Yeah, because I haven't looked at it. And
all right, so here's the update, Jason. Let me get you ready for your weekend, so you're not asking me this at 3:00 Friday, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Friday night, Q1, semifinals, Mission Foods, Too Fast, Too Tasty.
Right out the gate.
Right out the gate. Like Q1 plus semifinals, Mission Foods. Okay?
And it's at night, right? You said night.
It is an late afternoon evening session. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, perfect.
Saturday, Q2, Mission Foods, Too Fast, Too Tasty final. Saturday, Q3, Winter Nationals finals. That way each car, each team has 2 shots at the track before we go into the final for a national event. I like it. I think it's smart. I also think it's interesting that we could hypothetically, in all 3 pro classes, end up with the finals of Pomona before the finals of Pomona, if that makes sense. Like, if they all win Friday, in theory, right, and they all race Saturday in the Mission Foods final, then the Winter Nationals final becomes revenge for the Mission Foods final. Like,
it's a lot. It's a lot to get.
It's fun. It's cool. Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited about it. Like, what I'm pumped about, right? Like this race last year, Phoenix, was like so cool. For like a lot of reasons, right? Like the obviously the fans chastising the governor of the tribe in pre-race was amazing. Hashtag Joe Costello's a legend. You know, Joe stood up there and took one for the team. He was like Geronimo, like just keeping them going. You know, keep the track. Joe's up there with the microphone, just like casually, like on. We're on the radio, like, "Oh, Joe, we gotta go." And Joe's just back, like, "I got a radio problem. I don't know what's going on." He totally read the moment. It was phenomenal. Like amazing deal, right? But then like Christian Quadra, number 1, right? Cameron Caruso's first win. It was just fun. It was cool. Thomas Prock's first win with his dad working on that car, and now they've got Austin driving it, so they're defending event champions. Like, there's so many cool things that happened. And you know, I'm pumped, right? I went to Arizona State. I spent 3.5 phenomenal years in Phoenix, going to that track, working out there, announcing NASCAR races. I got engaged to my wife in that city, so I'm happy that we're back. I think it's one of the most underrated foodie cities on the tour, so I'm excited.
I'm with
about
you
that.
there. Yeah, we got places to go eat this weekend. I'm pretty pumped about that.
Incredible places to eat. So yeah, good
times. Well, let me ask you this question, and you probably know this better than I do because you actually pay attention to things. How hard would it? How difficult would it be to add an extra round of qualifying on Friday, just because you've got all of these different things?
Not well. So here's the problem with a race like Phoenix specifically. It's a 3-day race, so this is where it's a problem. A lot of people ask us, why don't you just add a session to Friday? Well, right. What are you gonna do with all the sportsman cars, right? Like, you can't tell them, surprise, all of a sudden time trials and qualifying to Thursday. You can't do that to them a week and a half ahead of time. Like, most people work, they have jobs, they got to travel. And so Wednesday stack race, meaning that we don't even start parking the sportsman cars till Wednesday. I don't think a lot of people realize this. like stacking sportsman car. We call it stacking, but parking trailers just for the sportsman cars. That's like a 2-day job.
Yeah.
If you can't do that in 1 day, Matt, it's literally not possible to do it at a national event. So it's just hard. It's hard. So
yeah, I hate
to your question, like if this would have been a race that had a Thursday, right? We got a Thursday for sportsmen, then maybe we could have figured it out. But just if you just look at the schedule, right? So we start racing at 8 a.m. Thursday, 8 a.m. Friday. There's a bug in here. I don't know how it got in here. 8 a.m. Friday, 8 a.m. Saturday we're racing. Sunday we're racing before pre-race, right? So Saturday we're racing after qualifying. So it's just it's too hard to answer your question.
Yeah, no, I get that. And sportsman racers, forgive me, I basically blanked that that sportsman racers, they have to race and all that fun stuff too. So yeah, that's on me.
It's just like I said, if let's say sportsman would have been there Thursday, right?
Right.
Then you could probably make it happen. But you can't make that change that late, and you just can't. You can't make that change that late, and there's no way to do it. And there's a lot going on this weekend. Pro Mod's here for the first time.
That's what I mean.
The Legends Nitro cars are back, and they still have a final round to finish from Pomona. So it's their first race, which our guest Drew Austin, coming up on the show, is going to be competing in, and I believe it's his debut in that class at an NHRA race. So there's a lot. This is a listen. If you're in the Greater Phoenix area, is that
a nostalgia funny car?
It is a nostalgia funny car.
Look at me go!
How good are you? How good are you? It's not like you pay attention. Yeah, actually, this is going to be a historic moment on Life's a Drag today. I think this is the first time that we've had a guest on that one of the two of us doesn't know. You've never talked to Drew Austin in your life, right?
Yeah, I have no idea who this guy is.
Great. Yes.
Good. Yeah, this will be fun. So let's talk about everybody being all pissed off that we didn't sit in Pomona for 48 hours on Sunday.
Yeah.
Dude, the internet is still undefeated, and it always makes me laugh.
You got YouTube figured out, apparently? Derek's got it figured out. That's good.
Yeah, we had it figured out.
Joe Allen came off of WFO and gave us a good plug, so hopefully that's working out.
So listen, guys, y'all gotta slow your roll down, okay? The NHRA is not perfect, and neither is Mother Nature. Okay, so everybody, calm down. When it starts hailing, Jason Galvin, you pretty much got to pull the plug. Am I right?
Yeah. So that wasn't the problem, right? The problem was people not comprehending realities things, right? People I've been there when we've raced on Monday before. Yeah, no bleep, right? So have I. Right. In fact, literally, I could make an argument that I wouldn't have the job that I have if it wasn't for 2019 Winter Nationals rained out, coming back racing on Monday, when after absolutely gagging, choking my audition Thursday because I suck so much at the sportsman stuff, ironically, and we don't run pro cars on Thursdays at Pomona anymore. Right. I had a shot at redemption, and somehow, miraculously, is the only person on the property outside of Loans and Allen, who were busy with TV, and it turned out eventually for Allen, TV, the only person qualified to hold a microphone and call alcohol finals, something I knew something about, alcohol cars and heads-up racing, was the moment where everybody was like, oh, wow, maybe the guy isn't as shitty as we thought he was, right? So, yes, we've obviously raced on Monday, but we've raced on Monday when there's a lot of racing to be done. And sportsman guys, yes. Right. There was a lot of racing to be done for sportsman cars, and I realize it's going to create a big problem, okay? But guys, listen, I'm a sportsman racer. If I had my license, I'd pull it out. You guys all know this, right? I may not be very good, and I may not do it very often, but I qualify as a sportsman racer, okay? Yeah, nobody's coming back on Monday to pay money to watch you guys, okay? And, I'm sorry. That's just a reality. And there were some fans who were like, I bought tickets. I deserve to see the finals. And I feel really bad for them. I do. You do. You deserve to see the finals of the pro classes. But here's the other reality. There's not that many people coming back on Monday.
No.
There's just not, okay? People got lives. They got jobs. A spring break started that week, okay? Right. So, that people had trips planned and everything. And like, come on, guys. Like, let's be real. Like, the amount of money it costs, people are like, well, they could have looked at the schedule ahead of time and had the foresight to make changes and postpone stuff. And my response to that would be, we were 30 minutes from finishing the event. Right. Yes, not the sportsman car. Once again, Gate TV pros. I'm sorry, welcome to reality. That's not like an NHR doesn't care about sportsman guys and they're shitting on the sportsman guy. No, guys, okay? Like, look, at some point, can we all just be realistic? Okay? Like, call a spade, okay? Right. People are not spending money to watch Stock Eliminator Round 2. Okay? Are there some people? Yes. Okay? Right. You know what? There are also some people who really enjoy watching Krav Maga on TV. ESPN's not paying millions of dollars to watch it, okay? Like, come on.
And there's something else too. If I see another post say, "Oh, you know, it was way better back in the 90s or back in the 60s," no, it was not. I would put this product up against anything drag racing has ever done, ever. I mean, is it cool to watch cars go 330 miles an hour? Yes. Or do you want them to run like top alcohol cars? No.
I wish I would have been around in the 60s and 70s and 80s. It was phenomenal, right? Like, it was great. It was different.
Yes.
Different being the key word there, guys. Okay, first, we didn't have 600 sportsman cars at every event. Like, half the cars were pro cars, okay? You could also build a top fuel car in your garage in 1966 and be competitive. Ask Warren, Coburn, and Miller, okay? Like, come on. Like, it's different. That's the biggest problem society has today. Society sucks at accepting that things are different. Okay?
Right.
Doesn't mean they're better. Doesn't mean you gotta like it. Okay? It also means we're changing it. Okay? Like, it's not how life works. Believe me. I feel like I'm talking to my 5-year-old right now. That's not how life works. Yes, it is. Okay, no. Right?
Life's not fair, everybody.
Correct.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Hey, where's the look, this is a great Jim Parks. Seriously.
99.9%.
I don't know about the last part there. Well, okay, look. Okay, thinking Biden brought down the bridge. Okay, I'm not getting political here. Jim Parks is a Republican who lives in Baltimore, guys. Okay, so if you're one of those people who think that Biden brought the bridge down, like, we got bigger problems to deal, way bigger problems to deal with. Okay, but anyways, he's right. Okay, most of the people who comment and complain are like, back when I went to Lions drag strip. Like, okay, but speaking of. For some reason, it doesn't have me in the producer suite, and I don't want to log out right now. Yeah, pull up the line. Okay, so Thursday night at Pomona. I want to talk about this for a second.
Yeah, talk about
Thursday night, Winter Nationals. Joe and I went to the memorial service for Roland Leong. Roland Leong is literally family to us, to our family. I mean, my uncle spoke at this, right? Snake spoke at it. Snake is literally family. Donnie Couch, who is might as well be my uncle or godfather, basically spoke at this, right? So Steve Gibbs, who I think is one of the greatest humans in the history of planet Earth. So Mike Dunn, who was instrumental in me getting a start in drag racing broadcasting. A lot of people don't know that, but Mike and Larry Dixon were both huge key influences behind the scenes. And so to watch these people talk about and remember Roland. But I just gotta say, if you're ever in Southern California, you have to go here. I mean, what Rick and his team have done at the Lions Museum Automobilia, I think is how they pronounce it, Foundation. Anyways, so Rick owns one of the most successful companies on planet Earth that nobody's ever heard of, called Price Transfer, right? And they basically, him and his daughter own a bunch of different businesses now. Pretty much everything that happens at the docks, the port of LA, which turns out it's a big deal, they have their hands on somehow, right? So life's been good to them. But Rick is a car aficionado. He loves Willys. There's a whole section full of them. But this is, to me, my favorite part. They've literally reproduced the starting line at Lions Drag Strip.
Very cool.
And it's incredible. This Big John's car over here on the right, it's just... You walk in. I mean, literally, people looking at this picture here, the upper right, the yellow shirt in the window there, that is Steve Evans. It gives you chills to walk into this place. It is one of the coolest places in the world. And if you're ever in Southern California and you appreciate cars, car culture, drag racing, history, and you don't come here, you are doing a massive disservice to yourself.
And how
it
far
is
was it away from Pomona, the racetrack?
I think it took Joe and I an hour and 15 minutes in 4 o'clock bumper to bumper Thursday LA traffic, right? So, like, look, if you fly in and out of LAX, you can be there in like 20 minutes, and that's in bad traffic, right? It's right down the road. It's in Long Beach, Gardena area. It's great. Like, must attend, must go to, killer place. So that was the start of the weekend, which was great, and then the rest of the weekend was all downhill. Where's the hail videos? People literally didn't believe me.
Yeah, wait, there's hail.
Look at this.
It's not rain delay. That's hail delay.
Guys.
There's that, and then yeah, that's what it looked like pretty much right after semifinals. I mean, it was nasty.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, we got semifinals done, and then all of this came through. You were like, okay, sorry,
it was
everybody.
Blue skies 10 minutes before this picture.
It was unbelievable. The whole day.
My favorite part, by the way, can I tell you my favorite part of this moment? Okay, you talk about the "Here's your sign" moment. Okay, those of you blue collar comedy tour fans out there, here's your sign. Okay, listen. When Reinhardt gets on the PA and says, "Everybody get out of the grandstands," there's lightning in the area, and then you can literally see lightning hit the hill at the end of the track right there. See that hill? That hill, the one straight down the end of the track. It's a half mile away. The hill. When the lightning hits the hill, and everybody still sits there, and Reinhardt's like, "Okay, good time to get out, guys. Okay, see the lightning? It's literally a half mile away. Good time to get out." And nobody moves. Okay, there were people standing. Or my favorite part was, Jason. They got up out of their seats. They walked to the bottom of the grandstands and all stood on the rail at the bottom of the grandstands. Like, what do you think? Because you walked down there, you're not a target anymore? The whole damn thing is metal.
Dude, people are stupid. I love it.
We're sitting there talking, and then so my favorite part, okay, we're not moving for the lightning, but then Reinhardt gets on and goes, "There's hail coming, mass exodus." Okay,
right.
It was like somebody said we were giving away $100 bills under the grandstands. Right. Everybody, oh, I got to get out of the way from the solid snow that's going to hit me in the head. But oh no, don't worry, lightning won't kill me. Like, what? Use your brains, people.
Right. No, I live in the lightning capital of the world in Florida. Whenever lightning's around,
you got out of there before we shut the race cars off.
No, I was like, I'm gone. Like, bye. I was like, no way. I don't mess around. But yeah, so that was, there's some fun stuff. By the way, Jason Galvin, I know we talk about this. What is that, dude?
Oh, broski. Yes. Hi, Sam. Thank you. We're glad you enjoy it. Dude, that's a terrible picture, but oh, man. Look, you guys indoctrinated Elon and I into the Coco Palm Cuban Hall of Fame Saturday night.
So good.
Listen, Cuban food right next to the racetrack. Incredibly underrated. By the way, the place was
full of meat, by the way.
Yeah, Elon and I both got a plate full of meat. That's all we ate was meat. It was great. Keto friendly. My cardiologist says so.
And our server was fantastic too, by the way. One of the best servers I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, that's pretty much Pomona in a nutshell. We'll wrap that whole thing up with a bow. Here in Phoenix. I'm pretty excited about it. So Jason,
I am as well.
Our guest is back there. He's sitting
Our guest has arrived.
Yeah. He's back there.
He's got a thumb up. That means I can see him. Yes.
Get on it, Jason. That's all you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Life's a Drag, 1320 the podcast. My friend, Jason Logan Stranger, for the first time, third generation Nitro Racer, Drew Austin. What's up, Drew?
Oh, just sitting up here in Washington. Can't wait to get back down to you guys. So just appreciate you guys taking the time out of the day to talk to me and have me on before the race.
Is the race car already down there?
Yeah, my dad should be pulling in the track here anytime. He's called me and said he was on his way out there. So he's got a place down there in Peoria that they stayed at last night. So he made it in last night about 8 o'clock.
Good deal.
And this is the car we're talking about. Am I right? This guy right here?
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
That is one of the cars that's going to be in the Legend Nitro series presented by Modern Warriors this weekend. This is, I think, the first time, right, Drew? Am I right? The first time that you have competed in the Legend series race, right? You've obviously done all the Heritage stuff, but First time
Yeah.
with us?
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a bit. When it first started up, and feeling comfortable going out to a big venue, and it's just we've always wanted to do it, and it kind of all the stars aligned to where we could do it down there because my parents stay down there in the winter and stuff. So it kind of worked out perfect for us to make it out for this weekend.
So for those who have no idea or recognize at least the name Austin, but they don't know Drew, right? So Drew is Pat Austin's son, grandson of Walt. Phenomenal racing history, obviously. And I think it's kind of cool. This track has a very special history for your dad and grandpa as well. So you get to make your effectively NHRA national competition debut at a track that was historic for you guys.
Yeah. I never even thought of it that way, but yeah, that's true. My dad had the double up there in what was it, 93, 92, 93, yep. One of those days. 93. And I didn't think of it that way. And yeah, that was a big win, and that was after actually going to Pomona and not even qualifying, and then they go out to Phoenix the next race and win the double up. So they didn't qualify in the fuel car. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, you go back.
Go ahead.
What's up, Jim?
I was going to say. I mean, another fun thing about Drew is his dad and grandfather were just inducted into the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame in Gainesville.
Yeah, we were down there.
Like?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a really cool deal, and it's a very well-deserved accomplishment for those two, especially being their final ride after we lost my grandpa in September. So that was a really cool event. The girls did a fantastic job putting that on. I think personally it was very long overdue, but that's just me probably being biased. But I personally think you're right. In about 15 years ago. So.
I don't disagree at all. Look, so for those who don't know, we're talking about the double up in the history of Phoenix, right? So Drew's dad, Pat, was the first driver in NHRA history to double up in a national event. He did it in Topeka, Kansas, and then they did it a second time in Phoenix. It's a story that I don't know how people have put two and two together, and Drew's resetting his connection there. But so I'll tell it real quick. So Gary Ormsby, incredible top fuel racer, champion, and tragically became very ill very quickly, and we lost him. And Pat and Walt were tearing everybody up in the alcohol funny car world, and basically looked at that as an opportunity to also go nitro racing, and did it at a time where the sport had transitioned at that point, early 90s, into really being a professional sport. Yeah, there's still privateers out there, but they took a Castrol deal, took a top fuel car, still ran the alcohol funny car, totally different setup, totally different car, and went out there and in Topeka, Kansas, after almost doing it in Indy, at Topeka, Kansas, doubled up in alcohol funny car and top fuel dragster. And yes, Jim, you are correct. Not only is Pat the only driver to ever double up in those classes specifically, but to this day, to my understanding, he's still the only driver who's ever doubled up in either an alcohol or a pro car at the same event. Everybody else who's doubled up at, like Lauren Freer, Super Comp, Super Gas, right? Anthony Bertozzi, top dragster, Super Stock. But to my understanding, he's the only driver who's ever been involved in a pro car to also double up in an event. And he did it twice. I watched the video. I think this is cool. I personally, and look, you and I kind of grew up out at Famoso and the Heritage Series together. And so we have a history out there that I have long thought that your dad specifically is like one of the most underrated drag racers of all time. And then I watched the double up video yesterday getting ready for this. There's a Nitro Time Machine Brian Lones did, and I think it's incredible. So I don't know if you've noticed this, Drew. You ever notice the last thing Steve Evans says at the end of the broadcast, at the end of that clip? The last thing Steve says is Pat Austin may be, at 26 years old, the greatest drag racer of all time. And I just thought, like, here's Steve Evans in 92 or 93 or whatever, the life he lived and the people he was around. Pat Austin may be the greatest drag racer of all time at 26 years old. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. And the thing is, he was so young. He retired at 36, I believe. And I mean, he raced professionally from about 86 to hard race in 86 to probably 98, 99. and I mean the win percentage, just let alone in that time frame, is unmatched. And they won a lot. They were very innovative. My grandfather always was on the verge of the next, whether it be supercharger, cylinder head, valve sizes, camshaft, whatever you name it. He was trying it, and they were the first to go 250s. They went in the 550s. First to go in the 550s. I mean, and they. I mean, a 40 running an alcohol funny car is really good. That's running good. Gainesville, I know Bellemere and them, a lot of handful of cars did. Same with Pomona went in the 40s. But I mean, 56 back in 1999, 98, 99. I mean, and that was blistering back then. They didn't have the computers, the electromotion, all that stuff back then. They had the 6-shooter, but that was it. But then, they did that with Alan Johnson 481. So there's a lot of history, and they always were dynoing on the engine dyno, and it's just always on the verge. And then, not to mention when they were at the track, they were just ruthless. I mean, they were there to rip your throats out. My dad has the same mentality now racing with them, but I wish his fuel career was longer, but his 15-year career was, in that time frame, was probably the most successful out of any drag racer ever.
It was as good of a 15-year stretch as anybody said. Yeah, no, I mean, no question. I mean, John Force is running 90s. Frank Manzo J. had a couple runs. Snake in the mid 70s, late 60s through the 70s. But that's it. Like Pat Austin's right there. I mean, Eric Anders is on one right now in Pro Stock. But. Yeah. So you talk about innovation. I want to talk about your guys' car, right? So you are an NHRA Heritage Series champion in effectively A fuel, what is our alcohol dragster class, but a front engine style, where you guys were running an injected nitro car, but you have re-pioneered essentially, or brought back a combination that your grandpa worked on for a long time, right?
Yeah. So we run the Boss 429 Boss Ford. So the heritage rules is if it looks like it, and there's some specific things that it has to, the motor has to have to be able to run it in the class, and we actually fall under that guideline. My grandpa in late 90s, they were dynoing a motor up here on their engine dyno for a guy, and it was a Boss 429 Ford. And they really liked what they saw. It had the hemispherical combustion chamber, but it was it was canted valves, which is not that big of a deal. And it's just something different, which my dad and grandpa always liked. So my grandpa approached Rodek, and he had him build him a set of, 4 sets of cylinder heads and 4 blocks, and they made them. And then that was finished in like 2001, and NHRA had allowed it. So they were planning on running it in alcohol class. Well, then they outlawed it, and my grandpa just shelved it. And he just said, no, I'm done with it. He's not going to put no money into it no more. So they shelved it, and it had been sitting on the shelf for about 15 years. And then a couple friends of ours up here that raced Pro Mod, Door Wars, and the West Coast Pro Mod series ended up coming out and saying, they were they're machinists, so they wanted to finish the project, and my grandpa was ecstatic and all about it. So
please stand by. Technical difficulties. There must be one of those electromagnetic storms flowing through Seattle right now. Tacoma, that area.
Tacoma.
SeaTac, as we call it. Stand by. Drew will return. Anyways, this is a great story. It's probably why I want to talk to Drew, right? Because we talk about nitro motors, and everybody's always talking about how they're Hemi motors. And the Austins pioneered a Hemi Ford. And we're going to see that this weekend in Phoenix. All right, Drew's back.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's me
You're good.
or what, but
it's
where did you lose me?
The stars are aligning in SeaTac right now. We were just talking about how there were some Pro Mod racers who came along and brought back basically the Ford Hemi.
Okay, so yeah, so they finished everything with the front covers and just the little stuff really, and they got all that done, and they debuted it in their pro mod, and they ran good. I mean, they won Door Wars up in Canada and stuff, and we ended up building our A fuel car based off that. So we came in the class. I think a good run back in that day was like 624, 625. I think Ken Bates was running back then, and that was hauling butt. And so my dad, went to work, and we dynoed the motor and learned a lot. And we took the class from running probably 620s average to, I think at the end we were running consistent 80s, high 90s in 230, 235, and we had a lot of success.
In a front engine injected dragster.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, cutting your teeth in that class isn't easy. So I mean, we had a lot of fun, and then we felt we did everything we could do in that class, and we decided to move on to the funny car class, and the rest is history. I mean, we went out to the reunion a couple years ago for the first race, and I mean, we ran 554, 261. Is that low ET top speed, and won, and haven't been able to hit our ass since. So that's we're hopefully on the backside of that and starting to creep back up on the tune-up. It's just racing's not easy, and it's definitely been a gut punch, but it's been a good learning experience.
So you guys brought that car out, and you had one of what I call the traditional bodies on that car that like the Heritage Series has kind of become known for, right? Like everybody's got like the mid to late 70s Camaro Firebird. I think you had Mustang on it, right? But is am I correct on that?
Yeah,
the original
ours
one?
The 79 The original body was the 71 Camaro, like
right.
I don't know. There's Rupert's got theirs on there now, Jerry Espeth, and then a few other people. So
but
that's what we started.
By the way, how good does orange look on a race car?
Right? Like, look at this thing. First off, this thing's incredible.
Than an orange race car.
Right. Okay, but like, so where did you guys come up with this body? Like, how'd you get? Like, because I've never seen it before. It's not cheap. Okay, you can't just like pick the phone up and call somebody and go, "Hey, can you make me like a 1983, Fox body Mustang?" Like, that's not how this works, right? So, how did you come up with this? Where'd you get it? Where's the idea? Because it looks. I told people it. You know what it reminds me of, honestly, Drew. It reminds me of Kenny Bernstein's Batmobile car, like to an extent. It very much has that look.
Yeah. So that mold was from. It's a Spitzer mold, and Paul Romine had the history behind it. Supposedly, Paul Romine had found his old body that he ran back in the day, and he ended up having Spitzer make the mold. And then Paul Romine was racing next to us at the reunion one year when we were still running A Fuel. My dad saw the body and really liked it. So then after we won the reunion, everybody's, "Oh, you can't have a Ford and a Chevy," and all this, whatever. And I said, "Well, what's the difference between having a Chrysler and a Chevy, whatever?" And so then my dad ended up finding this, hearing that Spitzer had that mold. So he called Spitzer to see if he would make us a body. And Spitzer said, "Well, it's probably just going to be faster and cheaper if you just buy the mold." And my dad's like, "Okay, well, how much for the mold?" And they came up with a price, and we ended up buying the mold, and we actually made that body ourselves. So Randy Parker up here, Kim Parker and Randy Parker, Randy Parker's race shop up here in Tacoma. Randy helped us lay it up and taught us, how to seam it and everything. So we actually made that ourselves, and then Randy treated it and tinned it, and Bucky helped too. But it's just mainly we just wanted something different. And so we did that, and
they did that.
That was good timing. That was good timing because that story. But that's cool. I had no idea that they actually poured that body themselves. I'm super excited to see this thing. So I've not seen this car in person yet. It's been a while since I was at a Heritage race because for some reason we keep scheduling. Hey, look, now we've got dual box Drew Austins.
I want him to go.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on, you guys. So
keep adding boxes in. But anyways, I was just saying. So I've not seen this car in person yet because it's been a while since I've been to Heritage race. We keep scheduling them on top of other events. I don't understand it. The museum has not consulted me on the schedule. Not being sarcastic, obviously. But anyways, I'm super excited. I didn't realize you guys actually made the body yourself, though. I think that's so this entire car that you guys are rolling out, basically, sans chassis, unless you're about to tell me that you built the chassis yourself too, is something you guys this is effectively a family creation, right? You created the body. It's a motor combination that's unique to you guys.
Yep.
I know there's a time where you guys are struggling to find parts for the car, but is that still a problem, or have you gotten that resupplied?
We Garrett Richards and Brent Yagi and Chad Christensen up here. They've really helped us out, and we're on the mend, I think, on that. So we got spare blocks, we got spare heads now. We got spare motors, like we should have to go nitro racing. So now we don't want to use all of them, obviously, but
Right.
yeah, we should. We're looking pretty good as far as that goes. And then my grandpa, before he passed away, actually had Brad Anderson build blocks.
Okay.
And so we have everything we need. And it's just the thing that's hard about it is it's just one off, so it's not like we can just call Brad Anderson and be like, hey, can you send me a manifold, or can you send me a set of heads, or whatever. You got to be on top of your inventory, or else you're going to get
Right.
yourself in trouble. So but yeah, so I'm sorry about the Wi-Fi too. I don't know what's going on.
you're
It
all
says I
good.
got full bars here, so I'm pretty
Hey, I
good
got
at
a question for
making
you.
it work. So
Drew, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Seeing you grew up in such a prestigious family of drag racers, did you ever want to do anything else? I mean, just listening to you talk right now, it doesn't sound like you even picked up a baseball bat and played Little League. You've just probably been tuning cars and driving everything with wheels on it. But was that difficult growing up and having to, your grandfather and dad are in the Hall of Fame. Does your dad, give you grief when you mess up or do anything like that, or is he fully supportive? And sounds like that guy was just a stud.
So I actually didn't really. The first car I ever drove was my fuel car. I didn't drive anything prior to that. I was always hanging around my dad at his shops and stuff, watching him tune carburetors on the dyno. But I was a sports guy. I played a lot of. I wrestled, played baseball, played football.
Okay.
I actually got a scholarship in high school to go play college football at Central and played quarterback. But that lasted about 2 weeks, and I said this is not for me. So,
Right.
and then I came home and I just went straight to work. And I was sitting around one night with my dad, and because I was still young, living at home, and I had saw a video of Ken Bates, the A fuel class, and so we looked up the rules, and it said that we could run that Ford motor. And so once we saw that, we were pretty active and jumped on and ordered a chassis from Randy Parker, and he built that. And I've always wanted to race my whole life. It's always been what I wanted to do. And it ended up working, to where I could. And, my dad's not hard on me. He first thing he told me when I got in a fuel car was, he says, I went to Frank Hawley's, but then once we got the fuel car, he
Right.
said, you either got it or you don't. I can't tell you what to do because everything happens so fast. He says, I'm not, you can't prepare yourself for that. It's all driving off the seat of your pants,
Right.
which is probably the best advice I've ever gotten driving. There's little things that he gives me advice on, but really it's mainly just, you either got it or you don't. And if I do something wrong or mess up something, he's been pretty easy. He's never gotten on me, never told me I messed up. I usually ask
You're
him and he'll
kicking
tell
yourself.
me, but yeah, I just tattle on myself pretty much. So
Yeah.
So- So what you're
That's
saying
the
is
cool thing
Bucky's the
about
hard ass.
go ahead.
I said what you're saying is Bucky's the hard ass in the family, not Pat.
Well, everybody says he's got that role, but he's just a big teddy bear. You just gotta treat him like, he's a big softy really, but he may come across hard, but he's just a competitor like the rest of us. So if you catch him in a heated moment, just I think like any one of us, you probably will get a bad reaction. But if you catch him drinking a few beers after the race, he's quite the character. And it's really cool because before my grandpa passed away, Papa was on hospice, and every day, it was my dad, me, Bucky, usually in the afternoon, sitting down with Papa, and we just talk and listen to him. And it wasn't a woo's me deal because we knew what the end result was going to be, but it was more of a reminiscing on old times and then giving each other shit and laughing. Papa didn't laugh much, but he enjoyed the conversations, in the hours we were there because we didn't get much of it. And it was hard, but it was really cool to see it come full circle because everybody thinks, the Austins, Bucky and Walt, they didn't get along, which they had their years of being competitive, but when there was issues as far as health issues, My grandpa had a triple bypass. The first person to pick up the phone and call and see if he was all right was Bucky. So now, after all that, and life got older, they went to lunch every single day, and before Papa got real sick and we knew the end result, they were at lunch every day, or at least talking to each other every day. So that was a pretty emotional and prideful thing to see.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about drag racing, by the way, is it's all the families, you grow up in it, and just the lineage of generation to generation to generation. And I mean, you see it with the Forces, you see it with Justin Ashley, all you grow up in this thing, and everyone becomes family. I mean, you look at the Ender sisters; they've grown up with everybody. This is all they've done. And and the sportsman guys. By the way, everybody out there thinks we don't like sportsman. Guess what? We're talking sportsman stuff all day here. But it's that kind of family. I mean, that's people are always like, oh man, you must love your job. I go, listen, I love the people out there. I mean, there are weekends where I'm like, oh my God, that car's so loud. Please stop. And I'm dirty. I'm feeling it. But then afterwards, you're walking around the pits and you see everybody and, hey, come on over, grab a beer, get a hot dog. Hey, man, you've said something kind of funny today. Hey, your car ran really good. And it's just that it's a rolling circus. And that's what that's what I love about this whole thing. It's just,
that's a great analogy.
Well, you go place to place and all of a sudden, hey, everybody, let's go see these people this weekend. So
it's a great analogy. It's a rolling circus. I like it.
It is. I mean, you set up the big tent. You set up the big tent on a Thursday, and all of a sudden, here comes the elephants and the lions and the ringmaster, and then we tear down the tent on Sunday and we go someplace else.
That's true. All right, Drew, let's talk about the family thing. Yeah, let's talk about this weekend. Legends Nitro Series. It'd be the first time for you that you get to turn the corner in Phoenix, as it is. And have stands for people full, right? I mean, like the March Meet, does a great job with crowd, but you're gonna turn the corner, presumably right behind Top Fuel, and light that thing up and go make a hit. A little different style racing for you guys, right? You're running to 1,000 feet. I'd be curious. Just not that we get real technical on the show usually, but I'm kind of curious. With your motor setup versus the traditional Hemi setup everybody else runs, do you think the 1,000 feet helps you, hurts you, doesn't matter?
Well, personally, I think it's good for us right now in the situation we're in because we've been hurting some parts. So if we can shorten our distance up and try and make it live to 1,000 foot, well, then hopefully that's going to translate into the next time we go to 1320. But as far as the motor combination, gear ratios, all that go, no, not necessarily. We haven't changed anything necessarily to run that right now. We're just trying to be competitive, regardless, just with our tune-up. And I think we'll get there. It's just, and I think we're close. I just think we need more time. And that's another reason we're going to this race is, it's going to be a good track, good venue. Good exposure for our car and our motor. Our motor, everybody says, oh, well, that's not a real Ford. Well, actually, it really is because I called up AutoZone, ordered a Fel-Pro stock head gasket for a 429 Boss Ford, and it matches the head gaskets we run on our motor. So if anybody wants to argue with me about it, I got it in the trailer, and it really does. It really truly matches the head gaskets we run. All the bolts, the studs are bigger, but they're in the same location. Everything's the same. I mean, it literally matches the head gaskets we run. So, yeah, really I had to throw that in there because some people like to say stuff that it's not a real Ford, but it really is. So,
that's great. Yeah. Get in the zone with AutoZone. Maybe you should get a AutoZone sponsorship going right now.
Yeah, I mean, we got some national exposure this weekend, right? So
exactly.
I mean, I could have probably ordered it from anywhere. We just order a lot from them up home because they're right next door to one of our stores.
Right.
So.
Sure.
Listen, you guys got to get sponsorship. We got to get sponsorship too. We got to start. We're working on our thing here too. So we're giving.
Yeah. We got to do a better job of pitching this. Let's drag the sponsor. Austin's Promax would be the next one. Hey, what are you most looking forward to this? Like, obviously, you get to go drive the race car, so you get that, whatever. But this is a totally different type of event for you. What are you most looking forward to in making your Legends Nitro debut?
Just something different, a national event. I've always wanted to run one. And doing it with my dad in a place that he has a lot of history and he's won a lot at and doubled up. I didn't even think of that until you mentioned it today. So I think it'll be cool. I hope there's some magic in the air, a lot of luck. And I'm just looking forward to racing. I really enjoy the competitive side of it. We haven't been very competitive the last year and a half just because we've been tearing stuff up. But, I'm just looking forward to getting out there and running and making progress every run and hopefully winning the thing. That's always the goal. We won a race last year and hopefully we can keep it going. We're working in the right direction. I know that.
Look,
And my
there's
dad, go ahead.
I would say as the designated announcer for this series, which I love, I think is incredible. I don't generally cheer for certain things, but I'm not going to be upset if at some point this weekend we get a Drew Austin Jeff Moniz matchup because of your dad and Keith's history in the alcohol funny car class, and I will certainly not be upset if we get a Drew Austin Bobby Cottrell matchup at some point, so we can have Pat and Bucky on the starting line in opposite lanes. I think that would be freaking awesome, personally.
Yeah, that would be some history, and we, as good as a driver my dad was, he's equally as good of a crew chief. I mean, the guy is very talented, very, very, very innovative, and we went out when we built this car with a combination that nobody had ever heard of, and it worked really good one time, but after that it happened. So now we're coming back and coming back to a more traditional setup, and I think we're working in the right direction. And it would be awesome. Jeff Moniz, Keith Clark, those guys are so talented. Randy, his wife, I mean, they're great people. Bob DeVore, and then of course Buck. You can't really beat Buck. So it would be great. I love racing Bobby. We haven't got him yet, but or Buck. We haven't got him, but Buck's got that car running pretty good. So that's probably the most consistent car, and that thing's usually right there at the top every single time it runs. So Buck's does a good job.
Buck's done a good job with anybody who's ever been in that car, but I will be the captain of somebody put Bobby Cottrell in a big show car campaign until it happens, because that guy can drive the crap out of a funny car.
Yeah, that guy does a great job. Yeah, he does a good job. Him and Buck work good together, and obviously proof's in the pudding, right? I mean, they've won everything, So.
Literally everything. That's my go-to line when they come up. In the history of Bobby Cottrell and Bucky Austin, they are undefeated. There's been races they haven't won, but there's never been a points-paying championship, whether it be Heritage Series or Legend Series, that car has entered. That car didn't win.
or the NFC, back when NFC was around with Bill Donor.
NFC did, exactly.
Yeah. They did all that. So, yeah.
I hadn't even considered that part. There you go. Yeah. So, what's your deal? Do you have interest in driving a big show car?
Well, I'd love to drive one. I just know, I'm getting older now. I mean, I'm 30, but I got a family. I don't mean it like that.
I'm 30.
My life's getting busy.
Come on. Yeah. I'm like a grandpa compared to you. I do.
My life's getting older. I got 3 kids now and a wife that is the most important thing in my life. So racing about 6 to 10 times a year is about what I want to do. And then, but hey, if somebody offered me the chance to drive their fuel car, I would be all about it. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I would love to. I'd love to feel the Cannon release, but we'll see.
The world's going to get to see Drew Austin drive a funny car this weekend, and I'm, as somebody who's seen him drive one in an A car, here to tell you that the family lineage continued on. So
I appreciate that, and you guys do a great job. I love the show, and Jason, you've always been good to me at the races and come up and talked, and like you said, we cut our teeth in nostalgia racing. So it's always a joy to talk to you, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend. And make sure you stop by and say hi, and if you need anything, you know where to come.
Yeah, we'll be there. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to see that car, man.
Drew, very nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Jason. Yeah, look forward to meeting you this weekend, and we'll see you guys out there, and appreciate you having me on, and hopefully we could make some noise this weekend and get after it.
Totally. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Drew Austin. Safe travels, bud. Drew Austin. I can't wait. Can't wait to see that car this weekend. I I just love. This is why it hit me. We were talking about guests for this week, and I was like, man, okay, Legend Series is here. They haven't been to Phoenix yet. Drew's never run one of these deals, and I just think the car is so badass. Like, I love the class and the cars to begin with, but specifically, there's nothing that I love more. See, now there's a car that won the reunion with the old Camaro body on it, right? Which, look, we got a lot of cars that run Camaro Firebird style bodies like this right now, right? And they look incredible. Like, that car's a beautiful car. It looks killer. Looks great, right? But, like, this is just so freaking different from literally anything that runs in any class that runs nitro alcohol right now. Like, there's not a nitro or alcohol car in any class, in any series, in NHRA Championship drag racing right now that looks so different than all the other cars as this. And so when I was texting Mike and the folks at the Legends Nitro series, and I was like, is Drew really coming to this? And he's like, oh yeah, Drew's coming to this. I flipped. Like, I was so excited that Drew was coming for that reason, because we get to see a car that is so radically different. And like, that's what this sport was built on, right? Like, this is what funny car racing was built on. It was built on being different. Let's take something radical nobody's ever seen before and try to make it haul ass. And here's a family who has taken an engine combination that nobody had tried before and now has a body that nobody's really tried before, in at least at this level, right? And put it together and said, let's go try to haul ass. And I think it's cool. It's one of the great things. Like, I wish that more heritage racers, fun car racers, and conversely this weekend Legends Nitro Series racers would branch out a little bit on the body deal. Like, I know the NHRA rulebook, if I understand it, has loosened a little bit on body styles and eras that are eligible. And I'm hoping that kind of leads to an expansion in this, because it's a thing in nostalgia funny car racing as a whole that turned a lot of people off 10 years ago, was the what they called the pro mod style bodies, which this weekend, like Bucky's car, the Bobby Cottrell's car, the green car, the Bartles car, has the pro mod style body. The Bubble Up car that Nathan Sitko drives, that Ryan Hodgson drove for a long time. I think they might have been the first team that rolled one of those out. It was like them, Bucky, Brad Thompson had one, has one still. And that like kind of turned people off, because it's like a similar argument that our fans make to pro stock, like pro Camaro, like Camaro. Like, everybody had like a Camaro or Firebird. They just kind of all looked the same, and it was different from where Nostalgia Funny Car like started, right? Like, we you know, there were Omnis, and there were Camaros, and there were Mustangs, and like Mark Sanders had a beautiful Mustang from up in Drew's neck of the woods in Washington, right? And the Speed Sport car was different for a long time, and now it's not. And it's like, I know a lot of people complain about that, and they open the rule book up a little bit to my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but it's how I thought I interpreted it, to where there are now more eras eligible, and if they haven't, then damn it, somebody do it. Like, let's start getting some of this stuff. And like Drew said, I think he said it's a 79 Mustang, right? Everybody else has early 70s body cars. Let's get some late 70s cars, early 80 cars, right? I always love, and it's a car we've not seen at an NHRA event in the Legend Series. They don't run the Heritage Series in Funny Car because they don't want to tear stuff up, but Lyle Hunter has a beautiful car called the Cone Hunter, and it runs the 77, 78 Corvette like Tom McEwen went Indy with. And I just think that's bitching, because it's different. Like, it's different. It's cool. I like different. Same, like the same argument making Pro Mod, right? I feel like I'm actually having the Pro Mod argument now. Yeah, how many times have you and I sat there and heard people bitch about Pro Mod bodies, right? I mean, we went to the World Series of Pro Mod 2 years ago together. I went again this year, and people bitch about, we missed when Pro Mods look like Pro Mods, right? Like, so, yeah, just Mike just texted me. Yeah, so they're approved up to 84 now on the body year. Thank you for send me that. I thought that I had that. I want to make sure I'm right. Thank you, Michael. So that's incredible. Like, somebody go out and build cars like that. Let's make these things unique again.
So let me ask you this question: is this car going to be? Is this car even eligible for best appearance?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, you just sold me on the best appearing car.
Look. I can make a best engineered argument for it.
Okay, I love it. Let's get this guy an award no matter what.
Am I wrong? Like, we just talked about, it's got a Boss 429 Ford Hemi in it with a body that they molded themselves and hung themselves. Like
Right.
that's got best engineer written on. Now I know best engineer doesn't normally go to like a nitro car, an alcohol car, or whatever, but
Right.
I don't know. Joe and I talked about this at the Winter Nationals, though, and he was of the opinion that they are certainly eligible. That class is certainly eligible for best appearing, because there are a couple cars in that class that I think are well deserved. Some of them we've already talked about, not just this one.
Right.
It's no secret. I happen to think that Jeff Moniz's car is like one of the prettiest race cars on planet Earth. Like, I don't care what type of class, whatever like, I don't have a picture handy right now. We didn't load it into the show, but if you're out there and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, just Google quarter pounder funny car. It is phenomenal. Like, Kenny Youngblood designed it. Cameron Ferre's dad, Top Fuel pilot Cameron Ferre's dad, painted it. It's just a bitchin' car. Like, it's beautiful.
By the way,
I think the car is beautiful.
I don't think you could use the word bitchin' in any other scenario other than talking about cars. Am I right?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's what bitching gets the most run when we're talking about cars.
Definitely when it's the most run, no question.
I mean, you got bitching Camaro. You got, what are we talking about? Bitching Camaro.
Listen,
I ran over my neighbor.
Listen, my mom's out there somewhere. I'm going to give her credit for that one, because my mom used that word often about things, and I think that's where I inherited it from.
Okay,
so
I love it.
She's probably running it now. Right now, she's her eyes going, Jason, I don't say it often. And like, okay, maybe often's a little much.
Probably not as much as she uses the F word.
Oh, listen. Nona Galvin has racked up quite an invoice with JJ Galvin ever since JJ found out that he could charge people $5 for saying curse words around.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm not saying any bad words around him.
Which conversely, how that came about is because we started charging him $5 every time he said one, because he had a bit of a potty mouth problem in school. He's got some friends at school who are not the most well behaved and mannered. So, we started charging him $5, and then he looked at me and he goes, "Well, Dad, if I have to pay, this is a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, Dad, if I have to pay you $5 when I say a bad word, then you have to pay me $5 when you say a bad word."
By the way, is your kid like? Does he like shower? And I mean, is he like hygienic? Because I know all of my.
Yes, my kid showers. No, he's a smelly kid.
Like I had a smelly kid just up until like, a year and a half ago. He's 13.
Oh, listen, Sonny. There's been a lot of smelly kids in my day, but your kid is so smelly.
But like my kid, I do this show right by my kid's bathroom, and it smells like a strip club. He found cologne. I walk down the hall and I'm going, "What is that smell?" Dude, he's got like 5 bottles of what he calls fragrance, right? I go, "Dude, what's with the perfume?" He goes, "Dad, it's fragrant." He's got the little diffusers where you can put it in like a travel size. I'm like, "What the?" I go, and like
how old is your kid?
He's 13.
Okay, you know what he's masking.
Listen, I get it. No,
he's just masking the leaf. Okay, he doesn't want the ganja to come out.
Right? Listen, we had to change his deodorant flavor because it clashed with the fragrance, and I swear to God, I almost passed out driving. So I go, "Oh my God, dude!" But this kid only wore like soccer clothes up until just recently. I come home the other day and here's a box full of clothes that he ordered online. I'm like, "What did you just buy?" Dude, he's got this kid's wardrobe just expanded. It makes me laugh how this kid all of a sudden decided he wanted to wear regular clothes and smell like a strip club.
He's 13.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Okay. He has discovered sex, drugs, and rock and roll. What did you expect?
I know. He is his father's son, so you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
This kid is exactly like I am. He just got his report card.
Oh, God help your poor wife. Wow.
Dude, she hates all of us right now. She just hated me.
That's how my wife feels about my kid's 5, and he is. You are so your dad's son.
Oh, I know. It's the best.
The next one will be mom's daughter, hopefully, and then we can be even.
Yeah. By the way, are you going to go with the names you were pitched yesterday?
No, I don't think. I don't think the Enders sisters are going to be the namesakes of my child. If it's
You're not going with Courtney, Erica, Galvin,
or Erica Courtney, depending on which
God.
one of them pitched it. Yeah, no,
that
no.
text
It was a
chain
fine
is-
effort, though.
That text
Oh,
chain
that
is
te-
really
listen,
good.
listen. Somebody ever gets a hold of our phones and goes through that text chain. It's going to be entertaining. But yeah, no. I did pitch it to my wife. I said, look, there's a certain 6-time world champion and her less successful sister who want us to name our daughter, if it's a daughter, after them. And my wife just rolled her eyes and laughed, and I took that as a no. So
By the way, I almost posted in that text chain. Yeah, I've already beat you guys. He's already named Jason. We already got one named Jason.
yeah.
So I win.
We actually have names already picked out for boy and girl. For those of you who are totally unaware, my wife is expecting. Most people have known that in our world, but we announced it this weekend, and we are not going to find out the sex. We are going to wait. We have a
Thank
son.
God.
That's all I ever wanted was a son, so we're just going to make this a surprise. Jason Logan hates gender reveals, nobody's
Yes.
business. So I thought about forcing him to do one just to be funny.
Dude, all right. By the way, can we talk about April Fool's joke that I totally took?
Okay, so we listen. So Jason and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we kind of half-ass this deal. It's like
Half-ass.
life. It's like life. We kind of half-ass everything. Okay, that's why Evan loves us so much. And listen, he texted me yesterday, and he's like, "What time are we doing this tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh, what time's Costello going to be done with it?" And he goes, "Who's our guest going to be?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You got any ideas?" And he goes, "We should do Sadie Glenn after her big announcement today." Dead
First love.
flippin' serious.
I was like, come
For
on,
those
dude.
we're talking about, Sadie Glenn is Dallas Glenn's wife. Dallas Glenn, pro stock driver, right? Former rookie of the year. Anyways, Sadie, who races in Top Dragster, posted yesterday a full-blown mock-up rap like she was making a sponsor announcement of her debut in pro stock.
Hook, line, and singer. By the way, but she sold it. Yeah, I'm only going to do 4 races, so I'm just going to kind of get my feet.
Get ready for my rookie campaign in 2026. I'm going to run
Right.
4 races in 25
She sold
to
it.
get ready for my rookie campaign. Listen, an hour later, she posted it was April Fool's, and 6
didn't see
hours
that.
later, and 6 hours after that, you came to me like, "Hey, we should have Sadie on to talk about her running pro stock." And God love her, but I'm so mad at the woman because I texted her, and I didn't realize you would also text her,
Right.
and she lit me up about how dumb I was, and I was like, "Sadie, I know it's an April Fool's joke. Logan doesn't get it," and she's like, "Oh shit, I already ruined it and told him."
Yes, she did.
Damn it. Because
Yeah,
I tried to get ahead of it to where I could be like, "Sadie, just go with it. Okay? Go with
Oh, you are frozen. You are frozed up. Unfreeze.
yeah. Uh-oh.
There you go. Now you're back.
There we go. Yeah. We're back. Yeah. No, I was like, just let him come on and make a big deal out of it and look like an idiot so that you and I could just sit here and spontaneously combust. We'd be laughing so hard.
Oh my God.
Which-
And
which she wrote.
I hate April Fool's jokes because I'm not paying attention. It's just another day in the calendar. April Fool's, I'm just like, after that one, I was like, all right, I gotta be better. I gotta do better. I don't prank people. I don't do any of that stuff. Well, I prank phone call some people, but by the way, I got a phone call on Easter Sunday trying to sell me solar panels. I lit this person up. I go, it is Easter freaking Sunday. Jesus Christ rose from the dead. I go, I am not buying solar panels from you. Take my name off. Oh, I was so mad. By the way, that was only brunch. Not that I went to church. I went to brunch.
Why don't you already have solar?
Because it's a joke. It makes your house look terrible. It's terrible. It's dumb. Okay, yeah, I might save some extra bucks, but no. And when they go out, because at my parents' house they used to have solar. When they stop working, that's when the nightmare happens. That's when everything becomes expensive. Because in Florida, apparently they'll install it for free, but nothing's free in this world when it comes to crap like that. So no solar for me.
I guess your electric rates aren't as bad as mine are in California, right?
No, yeah, we don't have rolling blackouts and things like that either.
How big's your house?
We're at 26 2,700 square feet. Yeah, 2,700
Okay.
square feet.
Yeah, so you have 900 square feet on me. Before I put solar in, I would have summer electric bills that were $600 to $800.
Oh no.
Yeah.
My
now you know
summer-
why I pay one. This $175 a month for solar is a killer deal for me.
Yeah.
By the way, those $600 to $800 bills were worth us running the AC at like 77 or 78. We now run the AC at like 72 and pay $0 on top of the. I mean, we pay 175 for the solar.
That's nice. My AC stays at 75. If it goes to 76, I'm sweating like I'm standing outside in 100-degree heat. And
75 would be great. 75 would be incredible if it wouldn't have cost me like a mortgage and a half. Okay, which is what it would have. So
I'm at like $350 a month, and that's running the air all day long at 75.
It's not bad. But your house is also way bigger. God, like if I had 900 more square feet and was trying to run it at 75 all day long, that's probably. Look, I know people. I know several people who have had electric bills well over $1,000. Like we're talking like $1,200-$1,300 a month.
No, not me. That's too much. Like
now you know we all have the solar on our house. Woo.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense. But like the ones, I know I'm getting old. In my age, if you can't tell with the beard getting gray and all that stuff, I'm getting old when people leave lights on in my house. Like, Jesus Christ, why are all the lights on in this house? Turn them off. Like you can't. I'm totally turning.
I'm 36, but I do that at home. I'm like, oh, Kristen, it's my wife. Why are there 7 lights on in the kitchen? She's like, what do you care? We got solar, whatever. I'm like, it's still stupid. Like. That's why I care. Why are they on? Exactly. We don't need lights on in the kitchen. None of us are in the kitchen. We're in the living room.
Dude, we have a light that we have like a half bath right off of our living room, and that door faces the garage door, and it's a little hallway that might be 3 feet, not even 3 feet, maybe just big enough for a door frame. There's a light right above that one. That light stays. I turn that light on or off at least 15 times a day because my wife thinks she needs to look at that or turn that light on. I'm like, what are we doing? Why does this light need to be on?
Listen, Scott, there were some really good April Fool's Day joke yesterday. Like way better than Sadie's I'm driving a pro stock car. Okay, way better.
It was all mocked up though. But that hurt.
Do you know how hard that is?
I don't know because I'm not talented enough to do that.
Dude, if you give me 30 minutes, I can have a Life's a Drag pro stock car mocked up for you.
Oh, let's do that. Put it on that. Take Sadie's and just put Life's a Drag on there. That's how we sell this stupid show. I love it.
Yeah, that ringing endorsement's going to help.
Listen, like you said, it's all the stupid.
Hey, serious note, though, for those of you who are out there, we got a lot of viewers right now. Our viewership has been way up. We appreciate those of you who are converts, I guess you could say, from WFO's world, from Joe. We appreciate all of you guys. If you don't, please do like and subscribe on YouTube, and we're on Apple and Spotify as audio only. So if you want to go listen to it later, you can throw it on a car. There's nothing I love you more than put it on in the car at 1.5 speed and make my 5-year-old try to decipher what Jason Logan's saying. That's a great game to play. Great game.
That's funny. Somebody. Joe could tell you who this was. I forget who it was. This guy in Pomona came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, you're funny. I like what you do, but you need to slow down. You talk too fast."
Wasn't that Rich and Saugus?
That's who it was. That's exactly
Rich and Saugus. Yes, Rich and Saugus. Yes. My wife, Saugus High School graduate. Rich, if you're watching, you didn't know that. My wife, Saugus High School, class of 05. I went to Valencia, go Vikings. We were great back then. I don't know if we're any good now. But yeah, Rich and Saugus. Right down the street.
If you're talking high school, you want to see something?
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
So my mom's moving, and she whenever she finds pictures, she just sends them over. This was today's photo. Oh, I should have put this in the thing.
You should have.
All right. I didn't think about it.
Oh, it's all pixelated. Oh, there it is. There it is. Wow, is that your prom photo?
Yeah, 1988 prom. There it is.
Damn, look at the hair on that girl.
It's the 80s, dude.
That's true.
That wasn't even the worst.
That's true. It was the 80s.
That's Debbie McDonough. Really, really, probably the only girlfriend that my mom ever liked.
I don't take it. I'm going to be lucky enough to find out that she later went on to star in Debbie Does Dallas.
No, that's not that one. That's a good Catholic girl right there, Jason Galvin, the youngest of 8. And to date her, I had to memorize all the there was one brother and then 6 sisters. I had to memorize them all in order. That was the test to get in.
God bless.
Yeah, good Catholic girl, Jason Galvin. That's what it's all about. All right, guys, that's my prom picture. You guys, thank you so much for coming and watching today. Like Jason said, subscribe on YouTube. You can find our show anywhere where you find podcasts. Night Driving, that's the wrong song to be playing.
I like this. This is different.
Oh, did you like that?
Oh, there we go.
Let's go back to it. Yep, I don't like that song. Okay.
Back to our theme song.
There you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys all on a meeting. Jerry Haas. Thank you, buddy. That's who it was, Jerry Haas. Thank you, Joe. Hey, again, if you need stickers, come find us at the track. We got them. Everybody, have a great week, and we'll see you at the track in Phoenix for not only one race.